stop everything. And Mrazek is kind of Hasek-esque right now, whatever the way he was in Buffalo. And there's like Corsi stats and Fenwick, there's like analytical stats in hockey. And literally right now, Peter Mrazek is off the charts.
Yeah, through the roof.
Good.
Yep.
So, I haven't seen it since Hasek, but it's unreal what he's doing. But it's not a shock. I've seen this for years. I've seen this coming. Whenever he was in Grand Rapids, think of it like this. A year ago, Peter Mrazek was still in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
And he posted, I think, like 4 shutouts in 5 games. He was doing the same thing in Grand Rapids that he's doing now. And he does it at every level that he plays.
Question, Raymond. If Babcock is still the Wings coach, is Jimmy Howard playing more than Mrazek?
I don't think so, because Babcock was starting to turn that corner as well last year with the playoffs. Because if Babcock was making that decision, Howard would have played the playoffs last year. But I feel that Babcock was finally saying, look, we got a pretty special goaltender right here.
Yeah. Who's the goalie for Washington? He's the
Raymond.
Yeah, I think he's the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Wins.
Well, Mrazek
wins.
is kind of ruining his party right now.
Mrazek's got better numbers right now than Casey Price had last year. And let's just face it, man. A young Jonathan Quick carried the case to a cup.
As an 8 seed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
So
I'm excited.
Just like pitching and defense is in baseball, defense and goalie is in.
Oh yeah, you could have a crack team. You mentioned Hasek with Buffalo. Buffalo was what did they have? Alexander McGinley, maybe back then when he was. They had nobody on offense, you know. So in Hasek carried them every night. You're right.
Who did they have that Stanley Cup? They had it.
Miroslav Satan.
Derek Plant, Miroslav Satan, Ryan Holzinger.
Ooh, that's a name I haven't heard in a long
Yeah,
time.
and it's like
nice call.
And it's like
Wow.
this is
Right.
and it's like they got the reincarnation of Terry Sawchuk back there in the net, and it's like Dom carried those teams, and Mrazek can do the same thing with this team right now.
Well, here's a question for you. How many series can you win? The Wings right now offensively are challenged, and that's something that goes without saying. Outside of Larkin, is this team with Mrazek steal a playoff series too? They almost did last year against Tampa. They had no business going 7 games against a team in the winning the East.
Should have won it, man. They
Well,
got by the Cronwall call, dude.
Yeah, but Tampa was the better team. Well, let's not mince any words. Mrazek kept them in that series period.
Oh yeah. Well, and you look back too, Roger. We lost to the Eastern Conference champion Tampa. We took them to all they could give.
Shit, they lost that 5th game.
And then,
Yeah.
and then a couple years prior, we lose to the Chicago Blackhawks when we're still in the West. We gave them the best series they had. Bada boom. So, you know, even though we didn't win those series, we gave the eventual, well, Tampa didn't win the cup, but we gave them all they could handle before they got to the cup. And we definitely gave the Blackhawks their best series.
I think we're watching history unfold here.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds very over dramatic a little bit, but I've never seen a wing goalie just play this well. I mean, I started following Wings when look at the last phase of Greg Steffen and Glenn Hamlin, Shovelday to Osgood. I've seen them all, but I've never seen a goalie this dominant in a Wings uniform. I mean,
And it's not even so much the dominance that's impressive, it's just how confident he is.
Yep.
Like there was a game a couple months back where a couple shots went in on Mrazek that were deflected. And he said, and like they weren't even really that bad deflected. But Mrazek was like, yeah, they got lucky on those shots. But it's all luck. And that's his mindset for every goal that beats him, is it's all lucky goals that beat him. And it's like, it's great to have that confidence. And the amazing thing with him is, you're right, he is 23 years old. He hasn't even scratched the surface of how good he's going to be.
yeah.
What do you think of the Zetterberg Datsuk being on the same
It's
line?
good because Datsuk loves it. And very rarely do they get to play together. And they've loved it their entire career, playing together. And I never understand why you split them up, because they've got that chemistry that they've had for a long time now. And that's, as you can see with last night and the past few games, it's helping both of them out.
Well, it's a supremely dominant line, too.
Yeah.
You know, you got...
Who's the guy on the line with him?
Applicator, yes. Which is great because he's the muscle, which, I mean, knowing what we know as Red Wing fans, he's that much
Mule would have been good on that line if he was off.
I mean, it's a shame what we did with Johan Franz inside again as opposed to Marianosa. but
Yeah,
besides,
Don't get us started.
yeah.
we were talking about that
But
yesterday.
who's that line for Anaheim? They still have the Getzlav,
Perry and I forget who they put on that line.
but to me, Zetterberg and Datsyuk provide that kind of punch
Yeah.
on that on the line that we can provide.
Yeah, that's
Um, I'm excited they're together, but you know, to me, when they go on the road, you got to go for matchups.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see them split up again eventually. This 5 game.
I don't even think they will split them up on the road because I think Blashill's kind of taking it upon himself to tell the younger players, look, you guys have to start gelling yourselves. I can't give you Datsuk and Zetterberg to help you anymore. You have to figure it out
That's
yourself.
a great one. That's right. Yeah, that's
There,
great.
it does seem like a pass in the guard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the younger players, I mean, they've tried everything they could. Even you're out in Grand Rapids quite a bit, and right now the Griffins in December were blazing hot.
We're in Grand Rapids, right here.
And they were blazing hot in December. They're still playing very well in February in a tough AHL. The AHL is a tough league.
Yeah.
Seeing and seeing teams, you know, you have Toronto doing very well all the time. Milwaukee's a decent opponent, but what do you see down there? Is there any answers in Grand Rapids offensively? I mean, they made a call up earlier this week, but is there anybody else that really down there that stands out to you?
The one guy that could help the Wings is up with the Wings now, Athanasiou.
Yep.
Because the speed that he brings throughout the lineup helps tremendously. And I don't understand why they didn't do it sooner because when you think of it, when you think back to the preseason, aside from Larkin, who else had the best training camp?
Yep.
Athanasiou.
A-squared.
So calling him up was great. Mantha, calling up Mantha would probably be good for him because I think he's one of those players, and this was very prominent early on whenever they drafted him, because whenever they drafted him, he said, I expect to play with the Wings this year. So I think he's one of those players who, like Mrazek was, doesn't want to play in the AHL at all.
He needs to be on the big club.
He needs to be on the big club to be
Yeah,
effective.
that's a good point because I've been saying that for years about guys in baseball, minor leagues. Sometimes they sit down there so long that they rot away. They don't perform as much. They don't get up with the same enthusiasm
They get
every
stale.
morning. They get stale. And a guy like him, you bring him up, he just might charge him, bang. He might just.
But
hit the guys.
I think as far as like not even on the offensive side of things, the switch that I would make, and this will never happen at all, is Luke Glendening could be your extra forward and bring up Tyler Bertuzzi to play on the fourth line because Tyler Bertuzzi would bring that aggressiveness that Glendening can bring, the speed that Glendening can bring. But the thing that Tyler Bertuzzi can probably do is put the puck in the net a little bit
And no more chippiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because, I mean, even on the blue line, somebody like, for example, there's always been talk about what about Xavier Ouellet, and I don't think he's ready.
No.
And he's been kind of
Defenseman, it always takes a long time
Yeah.
for them to develop.
He's only 22, and he's
Yeah.
doing. I mean, his numbers are a little bit better than they were in Grand Rapids than they were last year. In terms, his plus and minus, he's dead even right now. Excuse me, in terms of plus and minus, and points wise, he doesn't have it up there, but he seems like he's been playing better in Grand Rapids this week.
Yeah, and that's not really the system that they do in Grand Rapids either. Like they don't. I mean, on the power play, they kind of go run through their defensemen, but offensively, it always run through their forwards.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
And that's kind of the way that the Wings have always done it since Nick has left. Like when you think about it, the offense doesn't really run through the defense because you look at some of the defensemen that the Wings have. Not many of them are big point producers.
No. Well, and plus, talking about reverting back to Mrazek, Mrazek to me is shielding with his stellar play the greatest efficiency we have on the team. It's our defense.
Yes.
Our defense is so just liquid.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
But with
No,
Mrazek
yeah.
playing the way he's playing off his face, he's actually putting the defensive issue that we have as a Red Wing team kind of to the side.
Yeah.
Here we are talking about forwards and scoring. But to me, realistically, come playoffs, the ice gets smaller.
Yeah.
Everything gets shrunken. You got to have those good blue liners.
Yeah.
Especially, man, I love that Victor Hedman.
Yeah.
I mean, he was phenomenal in
Yes.
the playoffs last year. We don't have that in
Yeah.
this Red Wing team right now. So
And Tampa Bay already sees it with what they're going through with Stamkos right now because that is a guy that they're going to have to worry about down the line. It's like, if you're Tampa Bay, do you want Stamkos, do you want Hedman, or do you want Bishop?
give me
And I
Hedman.
think every team would probably choose Victor Hedman because it's so hard to find defensemen on that level
Yeah, such a
to where
stable blue liner.
a guy like Steven Stamkos can be found.
Yep.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, look at the trade deadline coming up, and the Wings, reportedly would trade if the deal's right, so currently. And you look at what Ottawa did pulling the trigger, which kind of surprised a lot of people. I also thought it was kind of ill-advised, in my opinion.
It beyond surprised me. It was like.
Well, it was one of those you were like,
right.
And actually, Toronto been able to get that kind of rid of that kind of money.
Yeah.
To free up for Stamkos, because that's the rumor.
Yeah.
Why? But that was one of those trades that caught me off guard, and I don't think the Wings are going to make anything like that. They seem like the trade deadline, they've just done Quincy, and guys are like.
Eric Cole was a good trade for him actually, but he got hurt.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
I almost forgot.
He did do much. He got hurt.
But he was what, 10 games old, 15 games, not many, right?
But he was making an impact. But he got hurt.
And Ken Holland has stressed this a lot in the coming weeks that people have talked to him about the trade deadline, and he says there's still a lot of teams in this race. So everybody is, I would say probably 25 teams are looking to it.
Yeah, everyone's buyers.
There's 5 teams that are out of it. You can say Edmonton, Toronto, Buffalo, and a couple other teams I can't think of right now. But there's still a lot of teams that are in this race. So Toronto is probably done as far as giving up their assets, because Phaneuf was kind of like the last guy that they had to get out of there. I don't think anybody will take Jonathan Bernier off of him.
No.
So it's like you have to find that one piece, and it's to use a Ken Holland phrase, a hockey deal.
Yeah, you have to find a hockey deal that suits well for both squads.
Yeah.
We got about a minute and 30 left. I just want to thank Raymond for coming in today. Of course, Freddie's gonna make sure he walks away not empty-handed with pizza, of course. But Freddie's also got to make 10 extra large party. 12. Gonna be a party today?
Yeah. Ford Motor Company.
Oh, nice.
They hooked me up all week. They order big pizzas all week.
So thank you to Ford Motor Company.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Can I get a pick in real quick?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, about a minute, quickly.
Give me Vancouver tonight. Toronto's at Vancouver, 7 o'clock, Hockey Night Canada game. I have no faith in Toronto Maple Leafs, man. I think Vancouver's got this all. I'm not sure what the line is, what's what, but
if it's at Vancouver, they're -1.5 for sure. They're probably -130.
take the Canucks all day.
Nice.
Thank you guys for having me.
And thank you, Raymond, for coming in and eating your weight in ravioli. That was I still haven't had a ravioli here. I know the guy for 15 years. I still haven't. I haven't had a ravioli. I used to work for him and I didn't have a ravioli.
Spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
Spaghetti sauce.
Check out all our great content, Sportsworthy. Check out all our great content, SportsworthyDetroit.com, including our hockey podcast. Coming up today at 1 o'clock, the SRU Roadshow live at Cave Radio Sports, and Big Ben at the Big Ten at noon as we kick things off. And then in probably about 11 or so, we're going to be posting Freddie's Corner with Matt Derry from Detroit Sports 105.1 as he's joined the podcast. Audio quality aside will be fantastic. And Freddie, thanks so much for hosting. Real quick, you got 10 seconds?
Thank you. Oh, well, if we only got 10 seconds, forget it. Thanks for joining.
Great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Fernando Rodney.
Yes.
I like how we almost all did that, kind of like almost at the same time.
A little bit.
So.